Most people think Mark Zuckerberg became rich the moment Facebook went viral. That's the simple version, the comfortable version, the wrong version. The truth is, Mark Zuckerberg didn't make his money by inventing Facebook. He made his money by never letting go of control, of attention, of data, and of the future. Long before Facebook was a global company, it was just a dorm room experiment at Harvard. But even in those early days, Zuckerberg understood something most people don't realize until it's too late. Attention is more valuable than money, because money always follows attention. Facebook wasn't built to charge users, it was built to keep them. From the very beginning, the platform was free, addictive, and social by design. Every click, every like, every comment created a habit, and habits are predictable. Predictability is measurable, and what can be measured can be monetized. While millions of users were connecting with friends, Mark Zuckerberg was quietly building the most powerful data engine the world had ever seen. Not by selling products, not by charging subscriptions, but by learning who people were, what they liked, what they feared, what made them stop scrolling. That data became the foundation of his wealth. Facebook's real product was never the app. It was targeted advertising. Businesses didn't pay Facebook to exist. They paid Facebook to reach specific people at specific moments with specific emotions. This precision changed advertising forever. Instead of shouting at everyone, advertisers could whisper to exactly the right person, and they paid handsomely for that power. As Facebook grew, so did its revenue. Quietly at first, then explosively. But Zuckerberg didn't cash out early like many founders do. He held on to his shares. That decision alone is responsible for tens of billions of dollars. When Facebook went public, Mark Zuckerberg still controlled the company, not just financially, but strategically. He structured Meta so that he retained voting power even when his ownership percentage dropped. This meant Wall Street could invest, but they couldn't decide. Control is the most underrated form of wealth, and Zuckerberg understood that better than almost anyone. As Facebook matured, another danger appeared: stagnation. New platforms were rising, younger users were drifting away, and attention, once captured, can still be lost. So Zuckerberg did what great empire builders do. He bought time. Instagram wasn't just an acquisition, it was a defensive move, a way to absorb a rising competitor before it became a threat. The same logic applied to WhatsApp. It didn't matter that it barely made money at the time. What mattered was that it owned communication. Together, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp formed an ecosystem so large that leaving it felt unnatural. Social life, photos, messages, businesses, everything flowed through Meta. Each platform fed the others. Each user strengthened the network. Each second spent scrolling increased advertising value. Zuckerberg's wealth didn't come from one app. It came from owning the infrastructure of modern connection. Then came the pivot that confused the world. While critics mocked the idea of the metaverse, Zuckerberg was making a long-term bet, not on virtual reality as a trend, but on ownership of the next platform. He had seen this cycle before: desktop to mobile, websites to apps, now apps to immersive spaces. Whether the metaverse succeeds or not in its current form, the strategy is familiar. Get there early, build the rails, and let others build on top of it. This is how Zuckerberg thinks about money, not as cash, but as leverage over the future. His wealth fluctuates wildly with Meta's stock price. Billions can disappear or reappear in a single year. But the underlying engine remains the same: attention, data, scale, and control. He doesn't sell courses. He doesn't license his name. He doesn't chase quick wins. Mark Zuckerberg's wealth comes from ownership, of platforms, of systems, of decisions most people don't see until years later. And here's the part most people miss. Zuckerberg didn't win because he was the loudest, the flashiest, or the most charismatic. He won because he stayed focused on infrastructure, not popularity, on control, not applause, on long-term dominance, not short-term profit. The real lesson isn't about Facebook. It's about understanding how value is created in the modern world. If you control attention, you influence behavior. If you influence behavior, you shape markets. And if you shape markets, money becomes a side effect. You may never build a global tech empire, but the mindset that built one is available to anyone willing to think long-term. You may never hear my voice again, but if you do, it means you're still watching closely, still learning how power really works, still growing, quietly, patiently, and strategically. And that's exactly how real wealth is built.